Listen, she's been in here 1 week. You told me originally that even if it was a kidney stone, she'd be out of here in a couple of days.
You know what I said, Sergeant? I was wrong.
You were wrong.
Sergeant, I'm not God.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious, isn't it?
Here's a movie that, frankly, was a pleasant surprise for me. It's called The First Deadly Sin, and it's based on a bestseller about a tired and quiet New York police detective who wants to close one last case before he retires from the force. Frank Sinatra plays the detective, and to be honest, that's one of the reasons I didn't expect much from this movie. Sinatra hasn't made a feature film in 10 years, and most of his work in the late 60s was as a detective in prepackaged junk like Tony Rome and Lady in Cement, terrible movies. But he's very effective in The First Deadly Sin. He brings a kind of tired nobility to his role as an overworked cop.
Excuse me, Sergeant. Yeah, I checked the gutters from here to the core, and I didn't find anything.
Okay, check the garbage bag, see what you come up with. Hey. When did you get out of the academy?
2 months ago.
Check both sides of the street.
Thanks.
You got a nice way with words. All right, let's roll him over. Easy. Hold it. Wait a minute. Where's Delaney? Delaney!
Yo.
Come here.
What do you got?
There's a wallet here underneath. Wallet.
Suppose it fell out of his pocket?
I don't know. It was just lying on the sidewalk. Easy.
Jeez. Pipe or a club?
No. You know, these facial lacerations are from his death fall. No, there's no depression or any crushing, but there was a definite puncture, the hole, back of the skull.
Hammer.
Yeah, it's possible. Depends on how deep the penetration is. I'll know better when I get him downtown.
Anything else you can tell me?
No, not that I can see. But you know, he's a husky guy. It's amazing he didn't put up a fight.
Maybe the poor never had a chance.
Shoulder eyes.
Yeah, boss. Get this dusted, will you?
Yes.
Could you get me up?
Come on, Doc, I'll get you up. Suppose you could get me a preliminary report by morning?
Oh, no, I could never refuse a pretty face.
Doc, you got great taste and very good eyesight.
Sarge,
Yeah.
there's an emergency call for you.
That was James Whitmore as the coroner. Working together, they begin to suspect that a single psychopathic killer has been responsible for a whole series of stabbing murders all over New York City. Now, there's no official pressure to push the investigation. On the contrary, Sinatra's bosses would be happy to see him retire and go away, but there's something inside Sinatra that just won't let him stop. Now, in the middle of all this, his wife, played by Faye Dunaway, falls desperately ill with kidney disease.
Hey, kiddo. You look great.
You don't look so hot yourself, wise guy.
Well, you know how it is with us New York cops. Out partying all night long.
Anything good?
Yeah, a couple of centerfolds, not much. How you feeling?
Lousy. Food's okay.
Some food.
What'd they get me for?
Kidney. You know, a guy was telling me the other day that a person can live just as easily with one kidney as two kidneys. Told me that just the other day.
You proposing to me, Sergeant?
Suppose I am proposing. What do you plan to do about it?
Girl's gotta be crazy to marry a cop.
And you wouldn't know anything about that now, would you?
Sinatra's so worried about his wife that he takes out his frustrations on the doctor.
Listen, she's sensible, she's not sensible, she rambles, she's in, she's out. I don't know what the hell's going on. Now, explain it to me.
That doesn't worry me. You see, with this
It
series...
doesn't worry you, you son of a... That lady in there is my wife. She's my whole world. Do you understand that?
Hold of yourself.
She trusts you. She hired you. You keep giving her all that bullshit about antibiotics and steroids, and I think it's killing you instead of curing it. And why her?
Calm down.
Why her?
Hey, take it easy. Take it easy. Come on. In a public place here. Come on. Now, look, I can't
can't answer why, okay? Sometimes the practice of medicine is unfair. The drugs we use on one patient don't. Look, I don't want to lose her any more than you do, Sergeant. I'm doing what I can.
Well, that's a good scene, but I'm afraid those hospital scenes with Faye Dunaway are the worst parts of this movie. They go on and on. They're utterly predictable, but don't blame her, blame the movie, which constantly cuts back to the longest-running deathbed scene I can remember. Apart from that, though, I admired The First Deadly Sin. I admired the quiet, poignant, understated performance by Frank Sinatra. It's kind of nice that after all these years, he still has the ability to surprise us.
And that's what I liked about the film, too, Sinatra's performance. I think he uses traditional acting methods to give a good performance, the element of surprise, unpredictability, exploding in one moment, and then quiet in another, quiet, alone on the streets, pursuing this killer. I think he's been a good actor earlier on in his film career. It's nice that he's back now with a strong performance.
If they had taken that performance and just followed it from the beginning to the end of the film and surrounded it by the good character roles that are in this film and good character actors, I think, however, it would have been a better film because it really is sabotaged. And I want to get back to this, to those Faye Dunaway deathbed scenes. I mean, every time we go back to her, she talks a little more softly, she looks a little more pale, it's a little more predictable, and it's a little more deadly in terms of the tempo and movement of the film. But other than that, though, it's a good film.
It's good because of Sinatra. You know, 10 years ago, he made Dirty Dingus McGee and then announced his retirement from show business. It looked like that was going to be his last film, and that would have been a tragedy. Now, this film is more like the kind of stuff that he is capable of making, has made earlier on in his career, a good film from Frank Sinatra. Finally, we agree on The First Deadly Sin, the first new feature film from Frank Sinatra in 10 years. He's wonderful in this thriller, but Faye Dunaway is totally wasted. Nevertheless, we both recommend you see The First Deadly Sin. So what do we have on this show?
I think we have some surprises. First of all, the surprise that Frank Sinatra is so good in The First Deadly Sin.